I just want to make sure, if anybody who watches this show, make sure to watch the promo from Sid Justice before the match. It's a forgotten gem or a hidden gem of a promo where he talks about ripping out somebody's jugular or something. I don't know. Sid Justice is the king of just these crazy, ridiculous promos. So I think it's worth watching that for sure before he goes out there, an interview that he had with Harvey Whippleman, I think. And the match itself, so they ended it with a count out, right? So like you said, neither guy, they probably didn't want to beat either guy at that time. Justice was just coming off the main event of WrestleMania 8 with Hulk Hogan. Taker was a character that they were trying to build up as a babyface by this time, and they wanted to protect him. So Undertaker took a count out loss, but ended up hitting the tombstone on Sid Justice post-match. So that's kind of how it went. I mean, nothing special from these guys. A little preview of the WrestleMania 13 main event, 5 years ahead of its time, for anybody who's interested in that. So I probably like maybe 2 stars. These guys are kind of rumbling around the ring a little bit, but they're they're big stars. Why are you laughing? What's the matter? You wanted to do the star ratings, so I gave you star ratings.
Yeah, half star. 1/2 of a star.
Mike Meltzer over here. It's getting.
I'm not. Why am I Mike Meltzer? Because
the half stars.
Dude, the match was atrocious. You could have easily gotten by having. There's another match on the card, the Mountie versus Virgil, which we'll get to. You could have easily gotten by having Undertaker destroy the Mountie and Sid destroying Virgil. That way the other guys could bump and sell for the monsters. 1/2 a star.
We need a big-time matchup on this show, right? I mean, we can't just have a bunch of squash matches. We got to get some big names in the ring with each other. So that's what we got here. Undertaker and Sid Justice, Battle of the Giants. Battle of the Beef, as you like to say. So
I don't... Yeah, it ended in a count-out, and it sucked. So, for me, I would rather have them get their shit in, like the Brian Cage thing. But that's fine. Whatever, man. Agree to disagree.
I like the show.
Oh, and you know what? I want you to take this next one and run with it, Joe. The Macho Man, Randy Savage, World Wrestling Federation champion against Shawn Michaels, the unheard of, unheralded Shawn Michaels at this point. Joe, what do you got?
Well, yeah, so this is, again, early into Shawn's run as a singles competitor, and Savage had just won the WWF title at WrestleMania 8. So, I assume at this point that they're looking to try to see how Michaels does in this type of position where he's challenging, the WWF champion, the top one of the top guys in the company. So, Michaels has, of course, Sensational Sherry with him at this point in his career. There's history there with her and the Macho Man. Macho Man has Miss Elizabeth back with him at this stage as well, and they would go on to they just came off their marriage at SummerSlam 91, of course. Match made in heaven. So, fun fact, according to the research that I did on this show, the final appearance of Miss Elizabeth in the WWF was this event, apparently. So, these guys had what I thought, for the time, I think you look at it on paper and you see Randy Savage against Shawn Michaels and you're probably expecting a classic. Shawn was at a point in his career where he was, again, just getting his first singles push. The match itself I thought was really good. Started off by a little bit slow-ish, but then built up really well at the end, especially the stuff with Sherry and Elizabeth. Went a little over 16 minutes. I went 3.5 stars on it. Savage got the win after a couple of near falls towards the end. Looks like they kind of did the finish twice, but with a crossbody, I think, off the top or something like that. But I really enjoyed the match, and I thought Savage did a really good job working with Michaels, and Michaels is working on his game here as a heel. So I enjoyed it.
I'm going to take word for word. I'm going to read you word for word what I have down here. And I want you to remember what you just said. At the very end, I have, they upped the level of the drama towards the end of the match with the ref bump and the near falls. And on paper, you would think it would be a dream match, but it was better than it had any right to be in 1992. So we agree for the most part, which is nice to see. I like it when you and I agree. I'm a positive guy. I believe in a positive mental attitude. And here we are agreeing. The thing I noticed, too, is Shawn just literally bumped his ass off of Randy Savage. And this is Randy end of his career. If you were able to get like 1994 Shawn Michaels with like 1988 Macho Man Randy Savage, that probably is like one of the dream matches of all dream matches. But I really liked the match for what it was and for the time. It did start off really slow, but it really built up towards the end. I went 3.5 stars too. So don't give me that shit for being negative. I call it how I see it, and I will sit down and watch wrestling from 1992 before I watch anything from today. A lot of it from today. So I enjoy it, but I have to be like Fonzie, right down the middle. I have to call it the way I see it, Joe. And just because I don't, I don't want to look back with rose-colored glasses, man. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to give you an honest opinion. Speaking of an honest opinion, the Bushwhackers have an interview segment up next. They lick kids. It's a real thing. After that, the Mountie versus Virgil. The first line I have down here is, I'm already questioning why Nick asked us to watch this event.
See, now we're right back to the okay.
Dude, I'm being honest here. Let me
go ahead. Do your thing. Go ahead.
It's the Mountie and Virgil weren't exactly setting the world on fire in 1992. The Mountie had a good gimmick, but Virgil, come on, man. Anyway, before the match, Virgil cut the worst promo I've ever seen in my life. If you want, well, that's a harsh, it's a top 100 worst promos. He actually couldn't find the cue card. It's pretty funny. If you go back, he's looking left and right, or he couldn't read the cue card. Bobby Heenan at one point said, Virgil looks like George Foreman on Nutrisystem, which really got a good pop out of me. The match was fine for what it was. It was very similar to the opener. The Tatanka Skinner match, the Mountie, the Virgil match, paid by numbers, and I have no issue with it. It's just underwhelming. I went Mountie wins with the old shock stick. I had a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend that used to have a shit. Never mind. I went 2 stars, Joe. 2 stars for the Mountie over Virgil. What do you got for me?
Yeah, that's probably about right as far as a rating is concerned, I would say. Again, at this point, it's the Mountie's a relatively, a character I guess they want to try to build up or use as a heel to get over with heel tactics. I think he had just come off of losing the Intercontinental title to Roddy Piper at the Rumble that year. He had a very short reign with the IC title. He had done the feud with the Boss Man in 91. So he was just a guy that was a heel, and the match probably went a little too long. It was just about 9 minutes. That's it. It's a cool down match between Savage and Michaels, and then the next match, which is Bret Hart versus the model Rick Martel for the IC title. The Enforcer is dying.
I'm good. You're choking on. So did you go with 2 stars? Is that a fair assessment?
2 stars is fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Next up, the Intercontinental Champion Bret Hart. This is kind of, where Bret Hart is on his way to carrying the company for the World Heavyweight title against the model Rick Martel. What's the first thing before the match even started that you noticed?
The first thing that I noticed?
Yeah, just looking at the match before the match even got underway.
I mean, I don't know. I was expecting it to be a good match, hopefully. That was what I was hoping for.
Both guys wearing pink, bro. Come on, you got to be better than that. Both guys fully decked out in pink. It's 1992. We're past the mid-'80s where everybody's wearing the same trunks. Amateur night. I would also like to quote the great Bobby Heenan during this match. Did he give her the glasses because he likes her or to hide her face? And then Girl soon goes, come on, Brain. And then Bobby goes, she's a cute little girl in a United Kingdom sort of way. And that completely popped me. Oh, God. Everything Bobby Heenan did on this show was great. The match was slow, but it was very much a traditional wrestler's match. Bret's strategy was to go for the leg to eventually set up a sharpshooter. Martel looked pretty good. He got some offense in, but just when it seemed like Martel was really going to take control of the match, Bret won with an inside cradle. I have no problem with it. I thought it was a clean well done wrestling match. I give it 3 stars.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars even as well. Nothing more much I think I can add to that than you already said. It was a well-worked match. It wasn't, pay-per-view level, but 2 good wrestlers, and they put on a good match, so no complaints.
I have a complaint about the next segment where we get Jim Duggan pooping.
Yes. So there's 3 interviews on this show that I thought were excellent, and this is one of them. This is one of the interviews. This was so funny, I thought. He comes out of the bathroom. I think he throws a toilet paper or something back in there. It was just a lot of funny mannerisms that he has doing this backstage promo before his match with Repo Man. So this is up there for me, man. This is one of my favorite interviews on the show. You didn't like this, it sounds like. You said you didn't like the pooping Jim Duggan segment. That seems like you're not a fan of that.
No, I'm not into the Vince McMahon toilet humor that he loves so much. My favorite part...
He just happened to be walking out of the bathroom getting ready to do his promo, that's all. I mean, come on. I laughed.
My favorite part
I'll be honest,
when Jim Duggan says the fans should chant USA even in the UK. And then I wrote, got it. And then I wrote, holy shit, it actually works. The crowd buys it. They start chanting USA. Probably wouldn't get over today, right? I don't even know if you can actually chant USA anymore. Is that legal?
I don't know. Jim Duggan, when he came out for this match, I think this is 1992. Right?
Yeah.
So he was so over with that crowd. The crowd popped huge when he came out to his music. I was not expecting that at all, and he was just super over. And the match was okay. I mean, it's not like it was any sort of spectacular outing here. It didn't even have a straight finish. It was a DQ finish, I guess, because they were trying to. I don't know if they were trying to protect Repo Man. Lord knows what they were thinking at this point in the game. But
Repo Man hit Duggan into the exposed turnbuckle 3 times. He no-sold it every fucking time.
He's got a hard head.
That's what, dude. This was so. Who are you protecting? Who was being protected from who? You know what they could have done? They could have taken this shit off the card and protected me so I didn't have to watch it. It was terrible. Repo Man matches in 1992 against an over Jim Duggan who sounds like he got an Austin pop in fucking the UK. What's happening? Is it they were so wrestling starved in the United Kingdom they would pop for anybody? Tatanka got the Triple H return pop. I was so mad at the crowd. They sent us down this path of bullshittery in the mid-'90s. I believe it was strictly their fault. Fuck.
Man, excuse them for being interested in the show. Gosh, man, I'd rather have it. Do you want to have a dead crowd?
No, I wanted to pop for people that deserve a pop.
Jeez.
Okay?
I'll go to an ROH show then.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Really?
That's what I said. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I'm the one taking a turn to negative town. You're getting mad at me for shitting on 28-year-old wrestling.
I would rather have a crowd that is into the show. I would rather have a mediocre show with a hot crowd than maybe an above-average wrestling show with a crowd that's sitting on their hands or playing on their cell phones. That's my preference. So if you go back to 1992 and these UK fans, where there's a lot of kids in the crowd and families, and they're going nuts for Hacksaw Duggan and Tatanka, and Lord knows we'll talk in a few minutes about British Bulldog. When he comes out, it's like a country-wide hero. I would rather watch a show like that's entertaining with Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan on commentary. I just think it adds to the show.
Flag. Throwing a flag. You cannot throw in at the end with Gorilla and Bobby on commentary. I watch paint dry with Gorilla and Bobby on commentary. That disqualifies everything. I would rather have a legitimate above-average wrestling match in front of the Hopog High School gymnasium with 6 people than Slamboree 93 in front of 40 million people going crazy at Dick the Bruiser. Just saying. But you know what? To each his own.
I mean, you did just say that you would watch Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan. You would watch paint dry if they were calling it. Yet,
right.
You're not happy about watching Hacksaw Duggan and Repo Man with a match with Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan calling it.
I'm not saying I'm not happy about it. You're twisting my words here. I'm saying they're giving them these pops they don't deserve. I watch it and I enjoy it for the nostalgia factor, but I don't enjoy it because it's good professional wrestling. I'm in the middle of watching the fucking WWF big classic. What is it called? The 85 pay-per-view?
The big event?
The big event. Thank you.
The wrestling classic?
Wrestling classic. There we go. I'm watching that. You know why? Because it's nostalgic and